friends, Amanda here from Handmade Not Hallmark. I am back with the Possum Stamps YouTube channel today to bring you this really cute card featuring some adorable cactuses, and I'm going to show you how to edit your stamps to create a scene card. Hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. I'm going to be using the Prickly Friends stamp set for my images today. I just love these cacti. They are so fun to color, and I love that you can use them in a variety of ways. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some ink blending, and I've got some Bristol Smooth cardstock here that I pre-cut using some dies from my stash, and I'm going to be doing some ink blending with some distress inks. You could use any distress inks that you like. You could use oxides, you could use, pigments, you could use any kind of ink that you have on hand, and I just have a stencil here, a cloud stencil from my stash as well to create this cloudy sky. I really like the subtle look of this, and I didn't have to bring it all the way down the panel because it will be covered up by our little sand borders that we're going to ink blend next. I just took some brushed corduroy and some ground espresso, and I wanted this to look like a sandy desert. So I'm starting out with the brushed corduroy, going in nice and light, covering that whole pre-cut panel, and then I'm going to do the other panel as well. And I tried this technique out a couple of years ago, and I really like the way that it looked. I really feel like it looks like sand, and I think that this is a really cool technique. You could use it for desert scenes or for ocean scenes. Next, I'm going in with it's not ground espresso, it's walnut stain, and I'm going to just do a little bit of ink blending along the edge just to darken it up. I'm mainly using this color for some ink splattering. I want it to look like sand, so sand's got bits of everything in it, it's coarse. So I went in with my different browns and did some ink splattering, covered both of those, and then I also took some white gouache, and I'm going to do the same thing just because I feel like sand sometimes have got like little white bits in it, and I felt like it really helps it look more like sand. Once that was all done, I'm going to set those off to the side to dry while we work on our coloring. I pre-stamped my images using some Copic-friendly paper and some Copic-friendly ink from my stash, and I'm going to use my Copic markers to color. I'm going to put on some music, and once the coloring is all finished, we'll come back and finish. Coloring was all finished, I used the coordinating dies to cut out my images. Now I'm going to go around and I'm going to edit my stamped images. I really like doing this whenever you want to add something but you want to kind of delete something as well. So what I'm doing is I'm just trimming off the pots on all of these cacti, and then I'm going to go in with a white gel pen. You could use a white gel pen, you could use a white Sharpie pen, anything that you have, and I'm just coloring over those extra lines that I don't need anymore. You can see here that it kind of erases it, and I've edited this stamped image to create something that I really like. So I'm going through, I'm going to do that with all of my stamped images, just going to trim off all the pots and then go in with the white gel pen and edit out those lines. Once all those were done, we can get our scene built. I'm just going to take my cloudy stenciled piece and I'm going to attach it to a side folding A2 sized card base, and then we're going to start adding our sandy pieces, which are nice and dry now. I'm going to use some liquid glue for this background piece, and then we're going to use some three-dimensional foam adhesives to attach the second one. I wanted to add a little bit of dimension to this card. I'm going to get those 3M squares put on here to pop up that panel. I really like these foam squares. I think they're a perfect dimension. They're not super high, and they add just enough, and it doesn't make the cards too bulky. Remove all that release paper. This is one of my favorite parts, is once you have all of your elements ready to go on your card, you can start assembling. It's one of my favorite portions of card making. I'm going to trim off the excess overhang on my card base with some nice sharp scissors. And we can start adding our cactus. I love this little scene. I love the fact that these cacti can be used in like a home setting scene or on their own, or you can create an outdoor scene with them. I really like stamps that are really versatile and that you can get a lot more use out of them. And you can do this technique with any stamps. You could do them with word stamps. You could do it with any other kind of stamps. And you can do it to create some, really intricate cards. Next, I just took a thank you die from my stash and I ink blended it to match my scene here. And I'm going to attach all of my cacti in their positions. At first, I was just going to leave them blank without any expressions, but I felt like they were a little bit boring. So near the end of the video here, you're going to notice that I'm going to add some stamped faces to these cacti as well, just to kind of liven them up a little bit. I felt like they were kind of bland or boring, which you could totally leave them blank. I mean, they come with the faces separate, but I just felt like I wanted to make it a little bit cutesier. So here's another way to edit stamps. So I stamped this greeting for my prickly friend from the same stamp set, and I stamped it onto some craft cardstock, and I'm going to trim off the 4. And I really like doing this with editing stamps, particularly with greetings, because a lot of times you can mix and match and piece things together. I've known people who cut apart their stamps. I do that sometimes, but I like to maybe just stamp it down and cut it out later. So now my greeting says, "Thank you, my prickly friend." So if you've got a friend who likes puns, this is perfect for them. Once I had that all trimmed out, I'm going to go ahead and add some more 3M foam tape here to pop it up, and we'll get it placed in there. I'm going to go in with a few finishing details on here. I'm going to add a little bit of glitter pen to my greeting and to my cacti's flowers, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp on their faces. Once their faces are stamped on, that will finish up this card for today. I really hope you enjoyed creating this scene and learning how to edit your stamps to create a more dynamic scene and to get more use out of all of your products that you have on hand. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button as well as the subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos here at the Possum Stamps YouTube channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!